Now continuing the coverage of the unrest that has seen widespread looting in Gauteng and Kwazulu-Natal. We are now looking at what has happened, the aftermath, as it were, of the looting that we've seen this week. Simphiwe Makhanya is in KZN. He's in KwaMashu this morning. So let's cross over to him to find out what's happening, where he's at. Simphiwe, good morning to you. And again, you know, it's another day. Yesterday, we didn't expect to see any looting, but there were still some sporadic incidents. What's the situation like today?
Good morning to you, Sakina, and good morning to the viewers as well of Morning Live at home. Well, Sakina, I am in KwaMashu. This is one of the 3 shopping malls here in this very big township of KwaMashu. And I'm going to step out of the shot and ask my colleague Norman to give you a picture of how the situation is looking like. The visuals that you see are basically the debris and the garbage that has been, collected by members of the community who have taken it upon themselves to clean up the mess that was left as a result of the looting and also torching of this very, crucial infrastructure in the township of KwaMashu. But in terms of what happened overnight, Sakina, we have been hearing reports that some areas near Phoenix had sporadic protests where, there was a bit of a confrontation between ordinary members as well as the residents and police there as well. But of course, the Minister of Police, Begicele, is going to be in Phoenix again this morning to try and quell those tensions that seem to be, emerging in that community of Phoenix. But to talk to us more about the situation here in KwaMashu, I'm going to walk and introduce the community member here who has been leading this campaign. His name is Sanele Mdluli. Mr. Mdluli, thank you very much for your time.
Morning, sir.
Talk to us about your decision as the community to basically take it upon yourselves to clean up the mess, so to speak.
So we've decided as a community members that what's going on around in the township is not right. It's not helping anyone. No one is benefiting on this. So we've decided to take an initiative to clean up our township and make sure that everybody gets back to work and people get their basic needs. Yeah.
In terms of the damage that has been done, especially in this shopping center where we are, how severe is it?
It's quite bad. It's something I haven't seen in my entire life. You can't even get your basic needs as such a simple thing as bread. And there are kids who can't even get their nappies. And there are elders who can't even get their medication, which is not a good thing. It's not working. Yeah.
How long do you think it's going to take for such businesses to rebuild and to be operational again after these incidents?
We hope and pray that it doesn't take more than 3 weeks, because 3 weeks without basic needs, it's gonna escalate more anger and frustration to people as well. And so, as I said earlier, there are elderly people who need food, medication and stuff, and yeah.
The campaign obviously started yesterday. Are you going to be continuing and also going to nearby places that have been damaged as well to see to it that they get cleaned up?
Definitely, yes. We will continue, and we urge another community people to join the campaign in the other areas as well, because I've seen the other guys. They've also joined the campaign in other areas such as Umlazi. And I watched TV yesterday. I saw in Joburg they were also doing it. So I urge and let's do this for our community.
Mr. Mdluli, thank you very much for your time. Well, there you have it, Sakina, one of the residents that has taken it upon himself to lead a cleanup campaign here to ensure that the situation is brought back to normality. And I can certainly tell you, Sakina, that when you look around in the township and see the amount of damage, it's going to take a bit of, some time for some businesses, to rebuild and also just to get back to normal. And the question that many people have been asking is, for those small businesses, are they going to be, be able to rebuild from this, looking at the damage that has been done, Sakina.
Simphiwe, just before we let you go there, with regard to what we saw in the Durban CBD yesterday, where there were long queues of cars waiting to get fuel, people trying to get some basic food supplies. We've heard of a shortage of baby formula and diapers, for example, people scrambling to get that. So can you just elaborate, if possible, on that? And also, within KwaMashu now, with the malls that have been attacked and vandalized, are there some shortages? Are there situations where people are, at this point now, scrambling to find basic supplies?
Definitely, Sakina. I can just tell you that what would normally happen is that residents of KwaMashu would come here and get their, daily supplies such as your bread and milk. But now that these shopping centers, the three that have been destroyed in this community, are not operational, then ordinary residents of this community have to find, other places to go and buy bread. And I've been, able to go around, the town just to get a sense of how long the queues are in terms of the shopping centers, where you find, long queues, Sakina, of people just, wanting to buy something as basic as milk. It will take you hours just to be on an ordinary queue just to go and buy, something as ordinary as milk. It's going to be, a very, challenging, situation for, ordinary people as they, try and rebuild their lives. And the issue of fuel as well, we've been visiting fueling stations, and many of them have been affected. The very few that are operational, have the issue of long queues with, people coming from, far away just to get their vehicles filled up. And it's going to be a challenge, Sakina. And the situation is going to, take a bit of some time before it gets back to normal, I suppose, looking at the events that are unfolding in those infrastructure, institutions, if I may put it that way, Sakina.
Simphiwe, thank you so much. We'll catch up with you again later. And as you heard earlier there from Simphiwe Makhanya, he actually said Police Minister Bheki Cele expected to be back in Phoenix later on. And Simphiwe, with regard to that, because there's been quite a few messages, also videos doing the rounds, and have you guys been able to just get a sense of the tension, the racial tension that is building up in that area, or any talk of a sort of retaliation regarding what has happened over the past few days?
The situation in Phoenix, Sakina, is still very tense. We've been able to speak to ordinary community members, both from the Indian community and Africans. And basically, there is a very strong conviction that those incidents that have been reported are racially motivated. But of course, the minister speaking to us yesterday said that in his view, the issue of racism is a secondary issue. What is currently happening in Phoenix is basically, criminality, basically downplaying the situation that is currently unfolding in Phoenix. And if you speak to the people who stay there, Sakina, they do tell you that, Africans in particular feel that they are, being racially profiled even when they enter, certain, places like your shopping centers and filling stations, and especially those who stay around the area of Phoenix. But of course, the minister yesterday saying that he's going to put together a team that will try and, remedy the situation coming from, both sides of the community. That's the Indian community and African community, trying to, build a bridge and find a way to work together in trying to resolve what is seemingly, becoming now a serious problem in terms of the racial tensions in that part of the province.
And Simphiwe, we'll leave it there for now. And of course, we'll come back to you later on. And we'll hear also from Thabiso Sithole, who's out on the N3 for us this morning.